Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Leroy Kenton and I'm so excited about this episode because we take a look at the largest ship in the Indian Navy, the INS Vikramaditya. Let's get into the facts, let's learn all about this. And if this is your first time here to FTD Facts, well, this is a channel where we talk about the different countries, cultures, and people, and share facts about the world that you may not have known otherwise. Also leave a like on this episode if you love learning. Now, as I mentioned, the INS Vikramaditya is the newest and largest ship to join the Indian Navy, and that was on November 13th of 2013. Now, this ship was commissioned on November 16th of 2013 by Defense Minister A.K. Antony. After the decommissioning of the first Indian aircraft carrier, the INS Vikrant in 1997, India was also looking for another option, though they had the INS Virat, which is also called the HMS Hermes, guarding its coastal borders. So they felt the urge for another aircraft carrier because the INS Vikrant was really old. Then they started talks with Russia when they offered their own Admiral Gorshkov to the Indian Navy. And then negotiations over acquiring this 44,500 ton ship started back in 1994. With the ship's hull still in pretty good condition, as well as the quality of the material was still in pretty good shape. Well, it was worth considering by the Indian Navy. After quite a bit of talking and negotiations between these two countries, India and Russia, there was an MOU, which stands for a Memorandum of Understanding, and that was signed in December of 1998 when the Russian Prime Minister Yevgeny Primakov was in India for a diplomatic visit. Now, this agreement was under the name of Project 11430 Admiral Gorshkov. That was signed between India and Russia on October 4th in 2000. And the cost of this entire project was 4,881.67 crore rupees, which is approximately $36 million US. So renegotiation for arriving at a mutually accepted price was in December of 2009, but you see this price was a lot higher than the last price. Now, it was agreed that the delivery of the ship would happen in the year 2012. Now, going a little bit further back, you see the Admiral Gorshkov was a Kiev-class aircraft carrier cruiser named Baku, and it was developed to carry guided missile cruisers. The ship was constructed by Chernomorsky Shipbuilding Enterprise in Mykolaiv, now in Ukraine. Now, the ship was commissioned on December 20th, 1987. Now, the ship Baku, or Admiral Gorshkov, began its active operational service with the Northern Fleet and was deployed in the Mediterranean Sea and remained in active service until the year 1992. So the ship was finally decommissioned in the year 1996. Now, getting more into Project 11430, with most of the ship's equipment just completely unutilized since 1996, this whole task and job of converting it from a vertical takeoff and landing missile cruiser carrier to a Stobar aircraft carrier involved a lot of heavy equipment removal, as well as refit and re-equipping. The major works that had to be done were modifications of the flight deck to include a ski jump and arrestor gear, modifications of the bulbous bow, as well as ammunition lifts, and there was modifications of 1,750 out of 200 ammunition lifts, as well as they had to make modifications of 1,750 out of the 2,500 compartments. And on top of that, there was installation of new main boilers, installation of new and additional diesel generators. Like, the list goes on and on and on. They had to replace existing distilling plants, as well as installing new refrigeration plants and new sensors, as well as other equipment. But everything was going real great, but back in the year 2007, they realized that the scope of this work was a lot bigger than what they estimated, so they had to revise a timeline for completing the task, and of course that was agreed upon by both sides. With this revised timeline, the delivery, as I mentioned, was expected to be by the end of 2012. Now, taking a look at some of the modifications that they had to make, like for example, like the ski jump, there was 234 new hull sections that were installed to achieve the desired shape. Total steelwork for carrying out this entire structural modification on the flight deck amounted to 2,500 tons. For the superstructure, there was a very unique structural modification that was carried out on board the ship, was the installation of the aft mast for accommodating various communication antennas. Now, one of the biggest modifications was the cabling. So the initial estimate included replacement of only 1,400 kilometers of old cables with new cables. However, there was an additional 900 kilometers of cables that needed to be replaced. So at the end of this whole entire refit, the INS turned into a fully capable platform. And now this vessel can carry more than 30 long-range multi-role fighters with anti-ship missiles, air-to-air missiles, guided bombs, as well as rockets. Okay guys, so that was your inside look at the INS Vikramaditya. Yeah, pretty fascinating. So as always, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and don't forget you can find me on social media. Links to those are also below in this video description as well. So it's been fun learning with you here on FCD Facts. I'm gonna get on out of here, and I'll see you real soon in another episode. All right guys, later.